When I met Dr. Zakir Naik in 1991, he told me one thing. Beta, son, if you want to be a successful Dai, see to it that you make your needs and requirements to the bare minimum. So I asked him that, why? What my requirements got to do with becoming a Dai? He told me that if you make your requirements and your needs to the bare minimum, you will not be dependent on this. So that when, inshallah, later on you become effective, no one will be able to twist your arm. Because your needs are less, so you will not be tempted to give fatwas or give statements which are not correct. Since your needs are less, you will not be bothered about the worldly things, you will be more bothered about the akhirah. And this point of Dr. Zakir Naik, that make your needs bare minimal, really stuck into my mind, and I made it a policy. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my parents were very well off. Alhamdulillah. So in the initial stages of dawah, they were fully supporting me. And my brother told me that I can continue and there is no problem at all. I need not worry about my livelihood. When I married in 1993, that is 2 years after meeting Dr. Zakir Naik and passing my MBBS, I told my wife that I can promise you minimum 4,000 rupees a month. 4,000 rupees at that time, I think the rate was about somewhere close to 40 rupees, so it was $100. I told my wife that if you want to marry me, don't marry me because I'm a doctor or because I belong to a rich family. I can promise you 4,000 rupees a month. And that time my wife, she had passed a master's, she was doing MPhil and she was teaching in a college, and her salary was much more than 4,000. I promised her 4,000 minimum, but alhamdulillah, I gave a little bit more. So this was my view, and this was the impact of Dr. Zakir Naik. And then later on, mashallah, when I started doing my own business, spending a few hours every week or maybe 1 or 2 days in a month during holidays, Allah blessed me. And mashallah, the earning capacity was much more than my parents, much more than my brother, and I used to earn millions of dollars a year. So much so that I could even afford a Rolls Royce. But the guidance of Dr. Zakir Naik, that make your life simple, was stuck in my mind. That's the reason I saw to it that the car I owned was not a very glamorous car. I remember we had a second-hand Sumo, and in the year 2010, it was somewhere close to that, when I decided to buy a car, we had a shura in the family. Maximum I thought I could buy was a Toyota Innova. That was in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Because more than that would not suit my personality. I personally thought it would be extravagant. Though the amount I used to earn, alhamdulillah, I could even afford a Rolls Royce. At that time, the guidance of Dr. Zakir Naik was there in my mind. And till today, more than 10 years have passed, I own a Toyota Innova. When I came to Malaysia, I said I want to maintain that standard. And where I lived in Bombay, I lived in a 3-bedroom apartment. And when my guests used to come, some of my friends who are billionaires, when they used to come to my house, they used to get shocked. I said, what is the problem? It's such a small apartment. I used to call, mashallah, it's very big. Me, my wife and 3 children. In Bombay, it was about 800 square feet. That's carpet area. It was big. It was so small. For me, it was big. Even in Malaysia, I'm staying in a 3-bedroom apartment. The carpet would be somewhere 1,000 square feet. The built-up area is 1,200 square feet. And I feel it is big. Not that I cannot afford. In Malaysia, the apartments are very cheap. Maybe 1/10 the cost of Bombay. So if I have to purchase cost-wise, I could have taken a 10 times bigger apartment. The cost of Bombay apartments are much higher. But I stuck to that advice of Dr. Zakir Naik, that make your requirements the bare minimum. Even today I feel, mashallah, the apartment I'm living in is very comfortable, for me and my wife and my 3 children. It's very big, others may call it small. So my lifestyle, alhamdulillah, was mainly based on that one advice of Dr. Israr Ahmad. And that has done wonders to me, especially when I had to do hijrah from India to Malaysia and all the things changed. We did not find any difficulty because we never let any luxury creep into our life. So the life was very good, alhamdulillah. In fact, the life in Malaysia is much happier, much more comfortable than what it was in India, even after all these difficulties. So this advice of Dr. Israr Ahmad to make your life simple, I've even given to my children. That see to it that your requirements, your daily living requirements is bare minimum. And in Bombay too, the monthly expenditure of my personal family was very low. And even here, as I mentioned, in Bombay it was close to $500. Even here, me and my wife living per month is only 2,000 ringgit, which is about $500. Yes, there are other expenses of dawah and traveling. That's different, that's a large amount. We pay our own tickets, we stay in the hotel ourselves. That comes under dawah expenses.